Hi, I'm Chris Evans, and I'm going to give you some hints that might help improve the marks you get for your assignment. These hints and tips are based on 3 or 4 years of teaching interaction design. They're based on feedback from the classes. They're based on observing the kind of things that people do in their reports, and feedback from your teaching assistants and markers, and also feedback from the learning partners who've been involved in this module. So I've got a number of tips there, not in any particular order, so I'm just going to go through them and comment. And the first tip I have is start early. A lot of people think that they can wait until 2 or 3 weeks before their assignment is due and then start working on it. By then it's way too late for you to be able to do a good job. So ideally what you want to do is keep in pace with the Wednesday workshops. So each Wednesday you'll be working on the assignment. That should give you a milestone for what you should be doing that week. And it also gives you the opportunity to exploit that environment. So you'll have a teaching assistant, you can talk to them about your ideas, you can talk to them about that particular stage in the life cycle. So make use of those workshops. Don't leave early, stay there and make the best use that you can given the number of you that are working together. Second tip is ideas. People often come up to me and say, here's my idea, is it a good idea, is it a bad idea? And the news I have for you is there is no such thing as a good idea. A good idea, what constitutes a good idea and who decides? Well, really, what we're interested in this module is not the idea that you have, but the process that you go through. In particular, there are no marks for the ideas. If you look at the 8 criteria for assessing your assignment report, none of them are, is it a good idea? It's about the process that you go through. So how you consulted users to come up with an initial idea, how you then refine that idea on the basis of consultation with users, how you put that into practice in the form of a physical prototype, and how you then involve users in evaluating that final design. It's the process that we're looking for. And so you've got to reflect that process, not just by having the steps, but reflect how you went through that process in your report. I am not the user. I'm a designer, I'm a teacher, I'm an examiner. I'm biased. I have my own ideas about what's good and bad. I am the last person you want to ask. You want to go and ask users. Now, when I say users, there are really 2 kinds of users that are relevant for your assignment. Real users, which are people who would actually use this kind of a product. If you can't get to real users for whatever practical or ethical reason, you can use pseudo users. Pseudo means fake, and normally pseudo users are other people in your class who are working on a different interaction design product. Or they might be other people doing the same sort of subject as you, maybe in a different year of your degree, or someone else from UCL who may not be actually the kind of person who would use the product, but they might be able to pretend to be. So that makes a pseudo user. The bottom 2 are people who are not users. Your customers, by and large, are not the users. Customers are determined by whether they're prepared to put money into exchanging for the product. They may not be the people that use it. There might be a company who's giving it to their employees. I don't know. And clients might give you a design brief. They have their own preconceived ideas of what the product to do. Generally speaking, whilst a client might be a sort of user, generally we're not interested in client users. We're interested in real users. So that's the kind of users you want to consult. It's very important in your report that you provide evidence that users were consulted. Now, I'm not asking you to get a signature in blood from users to say that, oh, yes, you did indeed talk to me. But you can give some data which suggests that you did consult real users. So, for example, whenever you talk about we consulted with users in an interview or whatever it might be, well, how many did you consult? How did you find them? Did you advertise? Was it friends? Was it friends of friends? Did you put something on the web? How did it work? Did you go to a class? And tell me a bit about their demographics. What age are they? What gender are they? Are they doing a particular degree? Something about where they're coming from. And finally, the collection method. If it was an interview, say it was an interview. If it was a focus group, so it was a focus group. If you ran a survey, so it was a survey. Tell me about the exact method that you used to collect the data. This will help to convince me that you did in fact consult the users. And that's one of the things we're really going to be looking at when we look at your report. Did you really consult the users, or are you just pretending that you did because you ran out of time? And that really will affect the quality of your report, whether you really consulted users or not. I say users, including pseudo users, of course. It's also important that you, early on in the life cycle, stage 2, that you show different alternatives to users, usually a couple, and you get the users to give you some feedback, which helps you decide which of the 2 designs, maybe 3 designs, you're going to take forward to the next stage and develop a prototype for. So the users need to be involved in the process of choosing between alternatives, and you should make that clear in your report. We also talk about requirements. When we talk about requirements in HCI and interaction design, we don't mean the functional requirements. Battery must last 10 hours. It must have an alphabetical keyboard. It must have a big red switch. These are all functional requirements. That's not what we mean by requirements. We mean user requirements. What do the users need in order to complete their task? Not what kind of interface would they like, but what is it they're trying to do? That's what will help you determine your design. It's very important also that every decision that you make, you provide some kind of a justification for it. If you're interested in getting an A grade, a first, rather than a B, make sure you're clear to justify every decision. So justify why you use that method of collecting data, justify why you use those particular kinds of users. Maybe there's a practical reason for it. Justify why you chose that design to take forward to a prototype. Justify why you built your prototype out of paper rather than card. All the decisions that you make, you need to justify. Next, a lot of people make the mistake of saying that the product they're designing is a solution. That's say they use the word solution, but they often say, I want to design something which has 4 buttons that allows you to push them to do this. That is not a problem. That's a solution. The problem is what the users want to do. What are the users trying to achieve? So rather than thinking of your assignment in terms of the physical device that you have to develop, think of it in terms of the problem that you're trying to solve, and the physical device then becomes the solution. So in your forms earlier on, you had to say what was the problem that your device is going to solve, and a lot of you just ignored that and gave a description of a device. Think about the problem. What is it we're trying to do here? Is it that we're trying to help people deal with autism? Is it that we're trying to help people be more environmentally friendly? What is the problem that this product is going to solve? Next is the big issue of low fidelity and high fidelity. Often people new to interaction design rush to do high fidelity things. They want to go to 3D printers. They want to produce spiffy high fidelity wireframes using the latest software. This is a bad idea from interaction design, because it means investing a lot of energy and time in something that is very difficult to change and that you start to make a psychological investment in. We want low fidelity. So if you can build it out of paper and you have to throw it away, well, big deal. You build another one out of paper. Bits of card, sellotape, cardboard, aim for low fidelity. We're going to do some low fidelity prototypes in your workshops, hopefully. So you'll get an idea of the low fidelity. Remember, the original Palm Pilot was made out of a block of wood and a chopstick. Don't tell the user what to do. In demonstrating the user interacting with the device in the video, a lot of people say, now click the top button, Okay, now type in your username, and now do this, and now that. That is not a user interaction. Users don't follow instructions. You're not going to be standing behind them when they come to use your final product. They have to be able to use the thing unguided. So you can give them a task. I want you to log in. I want you to book an appointment, whatever it might be, but then let the user do the talking. And finally, remember for this assignment, the task is to produce a physical prototype. So in case that's not clear, that's not an app on your iPad, that's not an app on your laptop or desktop, and that's not an app on your smartphone. We're talking about physical prototypes, typically made out of foam board, cardboard, paper, glue, sellotape, maybe a lot of coloured pens are involved here, but not a digital device. I hope you found these tips helpful. Good luck with your assignment.